What if you've been cheated on, you've lost all of your money, you've been betrayed, your name's been dragged through the dirt, your business has fallen apart, you feel absolutely worthless, but you asked for all this? Think about it. You wanted to live a life where you didn't care what people thought about you. You wanted to live a life where you're not scared to take action. And you wanted to live a life where you had a high sense of self-worth. You wanted to be rich. You wanted to be successful. Maybe you wanted to be well known. But if the worst things that could possibly ever happen to you have happened to you, and you're all right, what is there to worry about? How freeing is that beautiful feeling? Because if you've been betrayed, but you're still okay, amazing. You see, we go through life fearing something so much for it to control us. I don't want this to happen, I don't want this to happen, don't want this to happen. And then when it happens and you actually realise you're all right, you can just go through life. It's almost like the gauntlet. I almost feel for people that haven't lost all of their money, that haven't been betrayed, that haven't been cheated on, that haven't had marriages fall apart, that haven't had all of the terrible things happen to them. Because everyone will look at all of that as such a negative and such a bad experience, and they will focus a negative on it. Zoom out. Look at this from a completely different lens. Reframe this. Wouldn't you rather go through that and never have to fear it again than live your life every single day fearing it can happen? I personally believe that every single man that has been broken, that has been left lonely, tired, exhausted, still waking up for himself, still showing up for himself, is one of the most incredible human beings on this planet. Yes, for females as well. But they now can go through life choosing to let it stop them moving forward with relationships, with business, with taking risks, and let it control them and live with that badge of victimhood. Or you can move through life now and understand that yes, I've been through it and I came out and I know my self-worth, I know the boundaries I need to put in place, I'm still okay. I've learned so much from that experience. All of that had to happen in order for me to be able to be the version of me that I wanted to bring into this world. If you want to be worth 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures, whatever it is, you're going to lose everything, because you can only accumulate that much wealth by being a certain individual to handle maybe you getting sued, to handle the amount of workload, to handle the pressure, to handle the stress, to handle a family on the side, to handle staff, to handle all of the problems. That's like an anorexic kid going into a heavyweight bout in boxing against Lennox Lewis. He's going to fold straight away. Give him 15 years of training and loads of fights. He's going to get in there and actually have a chance. So stop looking at everything happened to you. Stop looking at why me, poor me. Start zooming out from a different lens. Imagine a version of you can look down at everything, and everything had to unfold in order for you to actually get the life that you want. You see, all of these bad things that have happened to us have happened for the most beautiful reason, is because they was meant to happen. You know deep down that no matter what situation you was in, you was always thinking further ahead. Now, if you're always thinking further ahead, to me, that's a signal that you want that life. There's a desire in you, which means that life already exists. I don't want to go into different spiritual context of this, okay? But there's a reason you have a desire in your heart, and this is why things fall away. It's because there's a version of you in that life that requires everything you're learning now. Without them lessons, that person cannot live in that world. It cannot live in that life. So I want you to start becoming addicted to looking at things from a different perspective. I had a client had 250 grand debt. Before he started working with me, he was just throwing money at problems, throwing money at problems, throwing money at problems. Most of it was to family that had helped him out. But then there was this 75 grand debt that was the real block. That was the real... It was winding him up every morning. And I reframed it straight away. I said, let's look at this from a different perspective, because how you're looking at it is bringing anger, it's bringing frustration, it's bringing annoyance, it's bringing all of these emotions to the surface, which we don't want. We don't want to be there. We need to have our heart open. What if that 75k was the price that you paid in order to then be able to go to that next level? What if you had to pay that 75 grand to make 10 million quid? What if you have to pay 75 grand to make 3 million quid next year? Bite your hand off. Let's do it then. So that was on one of our first calls, and then within 31 days, after 18 months of nothing, was about to lose his house, lose his cars, probably his marriage would have fallen apart, lose his business, lay off staff he already hadn't hired for 18 months. We reframed everything along with a load of other work that we done, and he made $1 million, I think it's 1.2 million in 31 days in agreed work. Just like that. Please understand that no matter what you want in this world, you can have, but it comes at a sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice your old self in order to step into a new life and create a new self. Albert Einstein said you can never solve a problem with the same level of thinking that got you there. Okay? Version of you, person A and person B are two completely different people. The whole point is the journey, but most people self-sabotage and go back into default mode and go back into the version of them that they feel comfortable with. They stay in situations longer than they need to, and then they just go into that victim mindset and fold in half, all right? And don't believe that they can achieve something incredible. So instead of having the mindset of everything's happening against me, why me, why me, why me? Of course, in that moment, grieve, feel the stress, feel the pain, sit there, feel it, don't numb it, because you need to express, you need to feel them emotions, otherwise they're only going to come up and catch up with you, or they will start acting out in your behaviors throughout the day, okay? But then the moment does come. Zoom out. What do I actually want from the world? Certain version of you. Write out your perfect day, how much money you want to make, whatever you want to do, and then all of a sudden, all of the pain that you have been through will make sense, because you need to be able to be at that level. All right. Say, for example, you want to be well known all over the world. For example, that takes a thick skin. That takes being able to take criticism. That takes being able to be spoken negatively of. That takes being able to be misunderstood. So if you go through a breakup and the partner starts putting your name everywhere where it isn't true, or maybe you want to be a business owner, or maybe friends have started saying stuff about you, and you deal with that, you're just prepping yourself to be able to handle that at a larger scale. If you want to make 8, 9, 10, 15 figures a year, whatever, because you can have whatever you want, you're going to have to lose all of your money first to then get the financial literacy that you need to be able to sustain that wealth. So isn't it worth losing a couple of $100,000 or whatever, how much money you may have lost for whatever reason, in order to be able to make sure that for the next 50, 60, 70 years of your life, you can sustain that amount of money, rather than losing everything when you don't have the energy levels to do the long days to get it back, where you don't have the capacity to be able to study, to be able to then work, to be able to take care of the family when you should actually be enjoying life. So one of the biggest problems that my clients face when they come to me, they might be from, 30 upwards. They come in, they're so annoyed. I'm like, let's reframe this. Isn't it better to fuck up the first 30 years of your life? Yeah, to make sure the next 60 years of your life, you don't have these mental breakdowns, you don't lose all of your finances, you don't turn to all the negative vices. You've had a great time in your 30s, all the memories, all of the losses, and now we just build the character that can actually go into life with everything you have ever learned and sustain at that level until, of course, you may have to go through this again. Who knows? All right. So start to zoom out from life at the moment and start to understand that everything is happening for the reason that it needs to happen. All right. Just make sure you see it through the lens that you want to see it through, that actually serves you. Otherwise, it's going to control you. All right. Big love. Melia Movement, baby. Let's get it.